A rich young man who needs a wife is living under constant threat, for how can one with such a life survive in London, where it's rife with eager maids who toil and sweat to catch a victim in their net? Endurance must become the creed of any man who can't decide. He knows that hasty love can lead to watching all his funds recede. But where do all the nice girls hide? If only he could find a guide. If some young lady shows regard, an eldest son will live in dread. Unless his wits are kept on guard, the pressure's going to squeeze too hard. His nagging parents want him wed, but he should play the field instead. He needs to be more versatile when difficulties are revealed. To circulate at such a trial, those greedy girls aren't worth his while. So some young men go far afield to see what other places yield. But when a fellow goes to lease a house in some old county land, the man will never rest in peace, because his neighbors never cease to make the very same demand that he must choose their daughter's hand. In Meryton you'll find a street where many lurking parents wait. You'll notice there a nice retreat called Netherfield, a place replete with things to tempt a likely mate. This place can be your lady bait. To take this house there comes a man with happy face and sparkling eye. This Bingley has a master plan to check out all the girls he can. If this is where the ladies lie, he hopes to find a wife nearby. His sister, though, is not so sure. She thinks he's made a big mistake. If it's a wife he wants to lure, then why a place that's so obscure? She feels that for the family's sake he should consider what's at stake. And Bingley brings to his estate a friend of quite imposing stripe, with pedigree of heavy weight and sense of style that's quite ornate. This Darcy is the unmarried type, a wealthy man who's very ripe. Where needy women are concerned, this Darcy is a careful sort. Through long experience he has learned that careless men are quickly burned. The women that he tries to court are those who never need support. So Darcy often takes offense with what his best friend has in mind. I really hope that you'll dispense with trying things that make no sense. These country girls just want, you'll find, to have a marriage license signed. Some happy news when they've arrived. A big event inside Town Hall, the thing in which our Bingley's thrived, the thing of which he's been deprived. In Meryton there'll be a ball, the biggest ball they've had all fall. But getting Darcy to attend is making Bingley's collar tight. He promised he would bring a friend. He's worried now he might offend. But Darcy's putting up a fight. He'd rather sit at home all night. I'm really in no mood right now to fend off any girls today. The sort of girl who pulls a plow, whose best friend is a Jersey cow. My hair is still in disarray, so please don't put me on display.
Now, Darcy, look, I've had enough. You always try this silly stunt. No matter how you huff and puff, it's something I won't let you slough. I'll tie you to that post out front if you don't join this lady hunt.
To Darcy this is all for naught, just rustic charm and fancy dress. This husband-hungry room is fraught with traps in which they might get caught. And Bingley's sister is a mess. She likes this party even less. And Darcy snares his pretty nose when Bingley comes to rest his feet. The partner that the latter chose is one who strikes a pretty pose. So Bingley's found himself a treat, for no one else is fit to meet. The girl that Bingley's fallen for seems quite a bit unlike the rest. Her sister spread across the floor. Her mother must have girls galore. But Bingley always picks the best, and she, of course, is quite impressed. Now Bingley tries to get his friend to ask some lucky girl to dance. But Darcy wants the night to end, but for now he sees a nasty trend of women giving him a glance. Those creatures hardly stand a chance. So Bingley tries to twist his arm.
You see that lady over there? Go over, Darcy. What's the harm in showing off your manly charm? Admit it, man, I've seen you stare. Now go and drag her off that chair.
Our man's already seen her here. He knows precisely where she sits. He thinks the reason she's so near is that she wants to bend her ear and eavesdrop, if the noise permits, on all the bon mots he emits. He'll have to put her in her place. These brazen folk must be deterred from always treading on his space. He'll handle this with flawless grace, and shame her with a clever word, the fancy sort she's never heard. Now, Bingley, please don't try to force a meeting with some rustic bore, whose mode of speech I'd find too coarse. I'd sooner dance with my own horse. I'll be here waiting by the door. Just shake me if you hear me snore. No sooner are his words en route, he tries to suck them back inside. He feels like such a nasty brute. He's now a man of ill repute. That girl has now run off to hide, for even yokels have some pride. She's safely distant. She has run to find one who's a close ally. But what's that laughter that's begun? Why, our man now starts to come undone. But when she smiles, he can't deny he loves the twinkle in her eye. He had no notion danger loomed, but now her smile is such a switch. He has a feeling he is doomed, for with her face he's now consumed. This night began without a hitch, but now he feels his neck hairs twitch. He soon discovers that this girl is sister to old Bingley's girl. How odd that they've each found a girl whose sister was the other's girl. Jane Bennet is our Bingley's girl, while Lizzie B is Darcy's girl. But poor Miss Bingley's not amused to be with humankind so plain. She feels that she has been abused, and now she's really quite confused by what her brother sees in Jane. To marry her would reap no gain. When they get home, the lady fumes. It took her brother one short week to make a move that he presumes will start a life of love and blooms. Miss Bennet's prospects are so weak, just think what havoc she could wreak. And Darcy finds he must agree. The Bennets are a dangerous bunch. He gives his friend a guarantee to court these girls will not be free. He also has a nagging hunch their mum will throw a knockout punch.